And we're live. We're live. All right, okay. No Way Home.
No Way Home.
The trilogy, the end, kind of Spider-Verse.
Probably.
Probably Spider-Verse. Any levels of excitement?
Any levels?
Yeah.
Like all the levels.
All of the levels.
Like if I've never been excited for a Tom Holland movie, this is definitely one.
Have you never been excited for a Tom movie?
I mean, I have, but I mean, it's like
Not jump out your seat excitement, more
not
like
jump out my seat excitement. It's more like I go in with certain expectations, and then the reality hits, where it's like he's like a sidekick in his own movies, but that's just me. I know that's not a very, very popular opinion. I know you feel differently.
yeah, I feel differently, but no, but you have pretty you have some spicy takes sometimes.
I mean, as far as like, because I'm coming at it more like a 616 fan. That's not the Spider-Man I'm used to.
And, I can understand it. I guess that I'm coming at it as a super fan of Spectacular.
Uh-huh.
So I see it as like, oh yeah, Spectacular, that type. So it gives me kind of those vibes, those kind of.
Yeah, but the thing with that is it's a teenage Spider-Man, but it's the 616 stories. So that's the thing. That's what you fail to realize. That's why it works.
It's a teenage Spider-Man with the 616 stories. Yeah, there's some truth to that, right? Yeah, you're right.
It's his college stories from the 616.
In high school.
In high school.
That era of cartoons, oh yeah, Spectacular, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Wolverine, X-Men, Iron Man, Armored Adventures.
That was the last good Marvel cartoons, in my opinion.
The last good era of Marvel cartoons. So here we are now, God, 2021. Potential Spider-Verse is like you said, we don't know. No Miles, I'm happy about that.
No Miles that we know of.
Oh, God, no
he could still show up in the movie.
Right, he could just show up. Tom Holland dies.
Tom Holland dies, and here comes Donald Glover with a mask on.
Oh, please, God, no.
What, not Donald Glover?
No, just no Miles.
I mean, he was literally one of the pioneers of why Miles exists.
Yeah.
Just because he was like, oh, Amazing Spider-Man movie's coming out. Why can't I get cast? I think he was joking about it, but they took it very seriously. Bendis took it very seriously.
Yeah, fucking Bendis. In terms of the trailer, how did you like it?
I mean, I liked it. Mostly because it's like, it seems like these villains, well, because there's a multiverse villains, they're from other Spider-Man movies, they're not employees of Stark. That already makes it better. Not every villain comes from Stark.
Non-Stark employees.
Non-Stark employees, disgruntled employees from Stark Enterprises.
So, Alfred is 100%. Ock is back.
Yeah, Doc Ock is definitely back.
Definitely got. I heard Defoe's laugh.
That was definitely Defoe's laugh.
I've heard Defoe's. You saw the pumpkin bomb. Literally the same pumpkin bomb. The same pumpkin bomb. There was a shot which it seems like Electro and Sandman were in the same shot.
Yeah, so they're definitely blowing their Sinister Six load all over the screen.
I saw Lizard too.
I didn't see. It was too dark to see. Everyone keeps saying it's Lizard. I'm like, look, if it's Lizard, cool. If it's not, oh well, I can live without Lizard.
What do you think they're going for in terms of the story, the reasoning as to why these villains are? Is it simply just because we have a grudge against Spider-Man and we might be from different universes, but you're still a Spider-Man, so screw it, like we're coming for you type thing, or is the like there has to be a type of reason why these villains, even though they've met a Spider-Man before, he hasn't met these particular villains. And they know he's Peter Parker, but they know a different Peter Parker.
It also could be that, the rumor that, Toby and Andrew show up and the trailer was just chopped up in a way to make it seem like they're targeting Tom. It could also be the case. They could actually be like, oh, the Doc Ock, he actually sees Toby's Peter.
Hello,
and it's
Peter.
just like, oh, hello, Peter.
I've heard that as well. I went back and looked at the trailer. I was like, oh, it is kind of cut weird as well. But I would love for Doc just to be like, oh, look, it's another Peter.
We all know that
hello,
Doc
Peter.
He died in the original Spider-Man 2. Spoilers.
Yeah, for Spider-Man 2. Spoilers. Yeah.
I mean, clearly it's a different take, but it's the same actor, so it's like different universe.
It could be a universe where he didn't die.
Universe where he didn't die. The whole brilliant but lazy thing,
Well, that would have to kind of be the case, right? Because let's say Lizard is here. Let's say Ak is there.
Well, Lizard never died, though.
Well, Connors never died, didn't he?
No.
Connors never died, but Gabi did.
He had the cure. Remember, Spider-Man had the cure spread out
all across the city. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Stacy died.
Yeah. Stacy died. But so in terms of these, because one thing I noticed, if these are the villains that everybody's assuming they're in the trailer, they all know, with the exception of maybe Electro. But they all know that.
Electro never found out that Peter was
Spider-Man. But the rest of them, if it is Lizard, if it is
Gabi,
Gabi,
knew Peter.
Yeah. But if it is Lizard, Gabi, Ak, they all Sandman even too, because Sandman, killed his Uncle Ben.
Oh yeah.
And they had that face to face and everything. But then there are some things you're wondering, like, okay, so Ak's dead, Gabi's dead. This could be universe where they didn't die. Still part of the Sam Raimi multiverse, you can see where they didn't die, but like Sandman, turned good. Ak did too, turned good, but these could be variants of themselves where they never turned good, they never died, etc. Which would be interesting for them to kind of go into.
Definitely, because I will say, like, the fact that we already know who these villains are, they don't have to take time setting them up.
Oh no!
So that already saves time. So instead of treating this like a Spider-Man 3 or like an Amazing Spider-Man 2 where you got to set up the villains and it just feels, super crowded. It'll feel more like an Avengers movie where it's like you already know these people.
You already seen these characters. You've seen the other films.
Mm-hmm.
They just tied them together through the multiverse. And then now you just enjoy the ride.
Now you just enjoy the ride.
Would this work? Can this work without Tobey and Andrew?
I think it can, but it's just one of those things of like, or maybe it sets up that Tobey, like they have like a like a post-credit scene or something to show, and then you actually have the actual Spider-Verse movie. Like this could be set up for a Spider-Verse movie. I don't know.
Would it work if Tobey and Andrew show up like in the last 20 minutes and basically to save the day?
I would still take it as long as they show up. Because honestly, them showing up is just worth the ticket price alone.
What would that do for Tom Spider-Man though?
It could only elevate it.
Even if they show
because
up,
at that point he's not standing on equal footing with other heroes. He's standing on equal footing with the other Spider-Man, which is what he needs to do. Because at this point, in my opinion, he's even less than Andrews. and I know that's a hot take, but I'm just like, look, say what you want about Amazing Spider-Man 2, but Andrew was great in that movie.
Andrew was great.
He carried that movie.
Andrew was always a great Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is just a terrible film. But Andrew was good
in it. Yeah, it has the best web swinging in that, the best, quips.
And it also it captures a lot of what Spider-Man is. Like when he saved the kid from getting bullied and fixed his little science project and everything. It captures a lot about what Spider-Man is and what Spider-Man means. But I will also argue to a certain extent, Tom's Spider-Man, you may not agree with me on this one, but there are things about his Spider-Man that I just genuinely love. Like I take it back to Homecoming. When he went to go stop Vulture, he had a choice, like either go enjoy the prom or go stop Vulture.
And he's still around too.
Yeah, and Vulture's still around. Vulture should be in this damn movie too. I'm just gonna say that. But it was like
after he's done hanging out with Morbius.
Yeah, he's hanging out with Morbius. Yeah, Vulture and Morbius, buddy cop. Anyway, like that the scene of him just going like, I should just go enjoy this prom, but like even though like it was a much more nuanced situation, and like he was looking at it from a child's point of view, he just doesn't kind of get what Vulture was doing, just trying to feed his family and stuff like that. And he's not such a bad guy, but in Peter's mind, like, well, you're doing a bad thing. I kind of have to go try and stop you. And when he bit off more than he can chew and realized nobody was coming to save him, he had to save himself, kind of. Or I should say Spider-Man had to save Peter Parker.
Which is why I will agree with you in the sense that like, Homecoming was a better movie after Stark took away the suit. Because then he had to rely on himself. And that's what Spider-Man does. He don't need other people's shit. He has his own. Because there was a rumor before he was even in the MCU that Stark was gonna make his web shooters. Dude, I would have got up and like not even seen the theater. I would have just like not even go.
No, he made his own web shooter.
He did. They gave him at least that.
Well, here's what they were going for. Or this is the last said, agree, disagree. But like majority of the stuff, his goggles so he could see better, his web shooters, the suit itself, all those things he did make on his own. But he made them on a 15-year-old's budget, basically. He made it on a 15-year-old's budget, and Tony was like, okay, I got more money than God, so like.
I'm gonna give you an upgrade.
I'm gonna give you a little upgrade. It's not so much that I'm doing this for you. In fact, these are your ideas. I'm just only funding them more. Does that work for you? Or?
I mean, I got what they were going.
Okay, we're coming back in. All right.
Oh yeah. So back to the what I was saying about the Homecoming became a better movie once he lost the Stark suit because he had to rely on his own wits and his own ability.
How did you feel about Far From Home? Especially, I would say, after he lost Mysterio for the first time and Happy came and got him, and he was a man freaking out with it. Happy was like, "Look, dude, you're the only Avenger here, dude. You got to do something." And people's like, "You know what? I actually kind of have to, do something." And then,
honestly, that was like, in my opinion, that was the first time where he had to take responsibility for his own screw up, because that's exactly what Spider-Man. A lot of the time, Spider-Man creates his own villains.
Yes, most of the time, about 95% of the time.
But at the same time, it's like that's the whole great power, great responsibility, because you caused it. You gotta fix it.
You gotta go fix it.
You can't just dump your problems on Mysterio just because, oh, he's a nice guy.
No, you have to do something about it. And then I
just
love
give this nice guy all the power in the world with these drones and stuff. Come on, man.
And I also loved how Far From Home, it felt like that was, because in Homecoming, as much as I do love that film, I love talking about Spider-Man, I didn't necessarily see Spider-Man as much as a superhero yet. More like he's on his way to becoming one. By the time Far From Home ended, I was like, oh no, this guy is a superhero now. Especially like when that moment when it cinched for me is like when Mysterio tried to trick him one more time, and then his spider sense kicked in after he destroyed all the drone stuff. He grabbed the bullet. He's like, no, that doesn't. That won't work anymore. Like it is, you can see in Peter's face, his eyes, his expression. He's understanding. I can't be a kid. Well, I mean, I am a kid, but I can't have the mentality of a kid and do this, not do it successfully. You know what I mean? Like, this is dangerous. This is real shit. This is gods and monsters and superheroes and supervillains.
Something just kind of came into my thought process right now.
Lay it on me.
For me, this Spider-Man is kind of like the reboot Lara Croft, where it's like, why is it taking so many movies for the goddamn origin to be done with? Or not even like the origin, but just like the whole you becoming what you're supposed to be.
Becoming the Tomb Raider.
Becoming the Tomb Raider. Becoming the Spider-Man. It's like, it took, three prequel games for you to officially be the Tomb Raider? Like, how many times do you need to go through some, traumatic experience
to finally be like,
hey, I'm gonna pick up my 2 pistols and actually go do something? It's like, oh, let me grab my web shooters, my own web shooters, without no one's technology, So it's like, how many Spider-Man movies, including the Avengers tie-ins, we've had? Civil War, Homecoming, Avengers 3 and 4, Endgame, Infinity War, and then with the
Far From Home.
Far From Home. That's five movies. And it took 5 movies for Peter to actually be like a solo hero now. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, man.
How much?
I mean, does that click?
I get what you're saying. I guess I am just looking at it from the standpoint of because how much time has passed between these films? Well, I know between Infinity War and Endgame is 5 years, but chronologically, Peter's only aged how much?
Maybe 2 years.
Maybe probably aged about 2 years. So he might be about 17 right now or so.
Yeah.
So I guess I look at it from the standpoint. It's the same argument I make for Sakura. It's like when people say, "Well, she did this and this." Look, I'm not getting mad at a 13-year-old girl for being a 13-year-old girl. He was like, I'm not gonna do that. That's almost redundant. It'll be almost kind of weird to see this incredibly out of nowhere, super mature, hyper-focused 15-year-old. Because even Spectacular, there was things Peter was tripping on too in that show. I do think they probably handled him a little bit better. But I don't think Tom Holland is a bad Peter Parker.
No.
I don't think he's a bad Spider-Man. I think he's a better Peter Parker than Spider-Man. But I don't think he's a bad Spider-Man at all.
In my opinion, he hasn't struggled enough. Though I will say there was a deleted scene from Far From Home that should have been kept in, where he's trying to buy Michelle that necklace. He sold all his Star Wars Lego figures or whatever to show that he's broke, which he is. They should have kept that in.
Well, but hold on, I'll challenge you on that. Peter's broke.
Yes.
High school student, he's broke.
Yes.
Would you want him to make the Iron Spider armor?
No. Wait, like the metal one?
Yeah.
Like the little.
Well, no, because Tony made that
that
for him in the comics
chainmail.
too. Yeah, because Tony made the Iron Spider suit for him in Civil War in the comics. But the classic normal.
The metal like armored one. Yeah.
No, like the normal regular Spider-Man suit, the one he had in Civil War.
Oh.
But that one still had Stark Tech in it though.
That one still has Stark Tech in it.
But that's more of a product of superheroism today. Like when we watched The Flash and he got tech in his suit, and I'm just like, when? Since when did The Flash have tech in his suit?
Oh well, yeah.
It's just
especially,
like
I don't know, like with the more recent seasons, he wears like goggles that act as like a
GPS and stuff.
GPS
I'm just like,
and,
what
like,
the fuck? It's just
like he gets some sort of radar. It sees.
I'm just like,
It's I don't know why it's that.
that's the new age of superheroes.
Maybe I don't know. Like, maybe 'cause sometimes the imagination people just lose it. It's like you have to explain everything.
There's no suspension of disbelief.
No, because literally that's been Flash's problem for like the longest. They have to explain everything with some quantum bullcrap. It's like just put quantum in there and people just gonna believe it. They're like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, oh science.
Oh, science.
Who you're more excited to see? Gabi or Toby?
Toby, man. Like if it was just if Toby showed up and they were just fighting Tom's Vulture and like Scorpion and Mysterio, I'd have been fine with that. But the fact that they're bringing in the villains, like I said, or even vice versa. But like I would have preferred if Toby shows up. But the fact that if it's just the villains and Toby doesn't show up in this movie, I can live with it because they were great villains.
No, I'm not trying to have super expectations, but I want my 3-on-6 throwdown. I want my 3-on-6 throwdown. Like that's what I'm the most.
With just the Spider-Men.
Yeah, just the Spider-Man.
Doctor Strange, he can do the spell. Maybe he can, hang out in the corner.
They could have him in a bag somewhere trying to fix the multiverse.
Trying to fix the multiverse because I know reality's still bending or whatever.
Yeah.
He can focus on that.
While the Spider-Man
deal with the villains.
They throw down with the villains.
Yeah.
That's what needs to. They can't possibly fuck that up.
I'm
right?
just saying, like, look, because he can't be the Spider-Man, as in Tom Holland, cannot be a supporting character in his own movie. This is for me. This has been the issue. Look, even though Iron Man was in Homecoming, and granted he wasn't in the film that long, although the marketing would tell you otherwise, he's not in the film
the marketing
that long.
heavily put him in
He's
there.
still overshadowed in his own movie by Iron Man.
Well, I think Disney does this, just like with Nick Fury in Far From Home. They put these other characters in these Spider-Man films, like Doctor Strange and No Way Home, there's probably some kind of contrast thing they have with Sony.
Oh,
It's like, it's like we're going to use your Spider-Man, but to solidify and drive the point home that your Spider-Man is in our universe, we need one of our characters in the movie.
Yeah, no, that was part of the whole deal. But remember, like when he left, was it last year or the year before, when Sony walked off, and then they did like a new deal, and everyone was freaking out because they're taking Spider-Man back. People were freaking out about it. Then they made a new deal. I think what the new deal is like that they can use Spider-Man in their own, like, Venom and Morbius.
Good.
Which I agree. It's like, well, I mean, they're making those movies and they want to set up, for when the day comes, because they still technically own Spider-Man, Sony.
Yeah.
They want to make their own universe to where when the MCU deal is up, which it eventually will be, Spider-Man can go play with technically his own universe.
Yeah.
But now that the Marvel universe isn't his, which it also is, but more of like his reoccurring villains or whatever.
Yeah, that's the struggles of sharing a character in two different franchises.
And this is the only time that's ever been a thing. But like I said,
I can't think of
Sony owns Spider-Man, but Disney owns the rest of Marvel. So the fact that he's been able to, well, not crisscross yet, but I think the first official crisscross, I think, would be that fact that Vulture is in the Morbius trailer, which he's going to be in the movie too.
Which, look, take Tom Hardy, take Jared Leto, take Vulture, take all of them, put them in an MCU film. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with any of these things. Just share the characters. Like, come on, play along. Everybody play nice.
Everybody play nice.
Any other expectations? Like what expectations I'm having? It seems the most logical thing is like this movie would be the byproduct. No Way Home would be the byproduct of how the Fantastic Four and X-Men get introduced into the MCU by proxy, not necessarily in the film, but with this expansion of the multiverse from what happened in Loki and all these other shows, and it's just like, okay, well from here on out, this explains why we never seen this character before, and then why they're showing them now.
That it also explains Deadpool.
And
How
Deadpool.
it's still Ryan Reynolds.
And how it's still Ryan Reynolds, which I would not mind. But I think they don't have to try to explain it too much.
No, again, just they don't have to explain everything. I mean, I still hate them for that one fake out they did within WandaVision with like not Quicksilver. It's like it's Quicksilver from the X-Men movies, but then it's
That would have been
not.
perfect.
That was literally their first tease, and then they screwed that up. Why? For clicks, I guess. I don't know.
Now, next is Multiverse of Madness, right?
I believe so.
I wonder how that spins. Is that the reason why you think Doctor Strange might be in this film? Because it kind of is going to Multiverse may be like a pseudo sequel to this film.
Yeah, you could say that. It's it's an easy gateway to do it. I mean, it's not like the first time that I guess for some people it's weird. Why is Spider-Man the street hero working with Doctor Strange? I'm like, they've worked together before.
I think the trailer did a good job of explaining why Peter went home.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, can you just make? But that's one thing.
It was either Doctor Strange or Mephisto.
God, no, fuck, no more, no one more day.
Was it or was it not the same thing though?
Just like, yeah, it was kind of the same.
Only the difference was in the comics, Doctor Strange stayed out of Civil War.
Yeah,
and he revealed his identity by his own, free will.
Yeah,
that's why Doctor Strange didn't want to help him.
Jesus,
that's the difference between this and that and this.
Fucking one more day.
But it's basically one more day.
It is. I hate to admit it, but it's giving one more day vibes. But I just don't like that story. I just don't like that story, man. I guess. I mean, because it's kind of just going back, rifting. Yeah. Clearly, there's clear excitement here. I think it's gonna be something for everybody.
Oh, definitely. This might be the first $1 billion movie in the whole pandemic thing, in my opinion, because this is bringing in all Spider-Man fans, whether you're a Tobey fan, an Andrew fan, or a Tom fan.
And if you're a fan of all three, then you just hit the jackpot.
This is your
can't miss.
Can't miss it. Yeah,
you can't miss it. Any concern?
There is concerns. They're gonna screw it up at some point.
You think it's gonna get screwed somehow?
They're gonna screw it up somehow. Because I mean, they screwed up Spider-Man 3. They screwed up Amazing Spider-Man 2. That was the second movie. But I feel like they should just take their time. Clearly, they don't want to show all their cards because look how long it took them to make a trailer.
And that's what I was about to say. That was my concern. For this movie to be coming out the 17th of December, and we're already in August, and this is the first trailer.
Like, well, who do you think you are, Nintendo? You just reveal something and then just people are just gonna buy it like 2 months before it comes out.
You think you are Nintendo.
Nintendo can do that. But Bethesda tried that and they fail. In my opinion.
Capcom does that bullshit with the Resident Evil games. They're just like they just like.
Was it like how long was it before that? Like that first.
We got one trailer for 8, then a year later we got another one. They came out like 2 months later.
Oh, that's true. It's like y'all need to build up hype. Do y'all not know how who's your marketing team? Why y'all not building up hype?
Damn it, we're Capcom. I think that's the response right there.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. Oh, you know that they revealed a new Marvel game, right?
Which one?
Midnight Suns.
I'm gonna go look into it.
I heard it's like a tactical RPG. Some people are saying it might be like Ultimate Alliance, though I don't know if it's gonna be like more like Ultimate Alliance or more like the Avengers game. But from the based on the roster, I guess it's interesting. Although they said they're gonna have like 12 characters at launch, and I guess like a custom hero that they made for the game.
Oh god, that means games gonna revolve around that person.
Though I mean, yeah, they're gonna revolve around that person, because they want it to be you're
with the Avengers.
You're with the Avengers. Though I will say, I mean, they're making their own character instead of just having Kamala Khan. I didn't buy Avengers for that reason. For me, that was the main reason. Then the microtransactions definitely didn't help. Although I know it's cosmetic, it still bothered me because I'm just saying, the PS4 Spider-Man, they didn't do that.
Yeah, no, they didn't do that. PS4 Spider-Man was a great game. I just can't say. All I can say is that I'm just excited, man. Like, one, seeing Doc. How dare you, sir? Seeing Doc Ock back.
How dare you, sir?
If you know respect for the multiverse. If you know, you know. If you get the reference, you get it.